Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We got a list of, I think, 23 properties, and it's the big wrap up before the weekend. If we mentioned the buyer class next Wednesday, if you want to come meet with us at Starbucks, you can do that. Just fill in the form over there, or you can even come on a tour of homes if you want to. So all that stuff's on that side. Let's get to the list. And so 578 Faro Point is 329.9. And it's a current model, so we just had a nice version of this, more upgraded than this, sell in multiple offers. We don't have the final price on it yet, but it's a decent floor plan. It's a nice mix in the sense that you've got two bedrooms upstairs, two full bathrooms, plus a little office nook upstairs right at the top of the stairs that you don't need to waste a bedroom for that. You can have an office in the hall, guest bedroom plus master, and they're all pretty good sized as well. Looks like 2-car parking in the driveway. $329 looks like a very fair price for it. This one on cost again we've reviewed this one. There's one at $326 earlier in the week. This one has an extra parking spot, but it's not worth $15,000. I'm sorry, that's not what it's worth on the open market. I'd say between 5 and 10 is probably the value for the extra parking. And you can see it's not a heavily upgraded place inside. You know what I'm going to say about the toilet seat being up. $120 on the maintenance fees. I like the fact it has 2-car parking, but for $332, go buy the other one on Faro Point. It makes a lot more sense. Prosser Circle. So now we're getting into pretty much one of the lowest priced single-car garage townhouse with a backyard. So Faro Point doesn't have a backyard. This one does. It's amazing. I remember when these ones, the first digit used to be a 1 when you could buy them. There's some dark hardwood floors here. The kitchen looks okay. Yellow hardly ever is a good power color for a listing. It doesn't really do a lot of justice to a lot of these homes, and it looks like it's a little bit deeper than the usual lot, which is nice as well. So there you go. $350 is the price. I love how they sat it right at $350 instead of $349.9 because now they get the double exposure. That was a very smart move. And June 20th is the date that they show here. And so whenever we see a specific date, we can usually assume that there's a next step involved. And so that obviously is something where if you gave them that day, maybe there's some room to play on negotiating. But this one's going to get a lot of attention. I know for sure it's going to do well. Bennett is $379. It's a Croftside model. It's about 1,380 square feet. No finished basement. It looks like there's some laminate floors on the main level. It's nice and close to the park, and you can walk to both schools pretty easily on Bennett as well. So that's a very fair price. With finished basements, we've seen those models sell way up in the 390s too. Evans Terrace 409. It's a semi-detached with a finished basement. It's not a very big house, so it's just got one room here plus your kitchen with the eat-in, and you've got 2 full bathrooms upstairs. But I find the main floor is a little bit tight. It's not a huge kitchen. Well done. And the thing about these ones is that they're actually on 30-foot properties, which is a lot bigger than most semis that you'll find. That was my old stomping ground. It's where I first moved when I moved to Milton. 409 to me seems a little bit high. You can get more size, I think, for that price. Now, Diefenbaker 409, and so it's an Emery model. It's 1,370 square feet, and they've dressed her up very nice. But really, the true value in my eyes for something like this, without the finished basement, for the size of the home, is probably a lot less than 409. I understand they did some work here, but for the extra additional stuff, I mean, you buy a faucet, you put some counters and some backsplash in, some decent appliances, that's not a $20,000 premium, at least to me. So I'd rather buy the basic one, do a little bit of work. Now, they did some smart stuff like the hardwood stairs. I have a feeling these guys are going to do well and they're going to make their money. I don't know if paying close to asking would be something I'd recommend a client do. So McDougall is $429. It's a Southbury model. One with a finished basement sold for $450, probably in the last month and a half. It's a good floor plan. It's almost 2,000 square feet. It's a nice size semi-detached. We've seen 2,200 square foot homes semi-detached go up in the 470, 480 range. So at 430, these guys are going to sell, I think, really fast. And they've got even some nice tile work in the kitchen. I think it's nice anyways. And even if it's not, you can rip it out at this price because it's a good deal. Now this one on McDougall, same street, a couple doors down, Same model, Southbury, 1987 square feet, living room, then you have a separate dining room. The kitchen layout on this one is far superior to me. So you've got a pass-through window here. It really opens it up. A lot of the light from the back door goes right into the dining room. Much more functional kitchen, like night and day when you see these. And in fact, to me, for $10,000 difference, I would cheerfully pay for this kitchen. That's how much better a layout it is. I think they're both fantastically priced. Lots of value upstairs, 4 bedrooms plus laundry, and sometimes there's even an open loft depending on the elevation there. So bit of landscaping in the front. These guys are priced to sell. Both of them, I think, are going to go really fast. There were some on Scott neighbors that sold in the high 430s, and they did not look as good as that one there. So Savaline is 439. It's a plan 2, so it's about 1380 square feet. It's a pretty good floor plan. That island is movable, by the way. You can shift that. Most of the time, if there's no plumbing or electrical in these islands, you can move them. It's not a big deal. So they've done the upgraded chef's kitchen. They've opened this area up. This is good. Like 2 years ago, I sold one of these for $420. These guys are going to do nicely. The bedrooms are a little bit small upstairs, but the main floor layout is outstanding. Nice price there. And really detached homes, there's not a whole lot for sale right now. Holland Heights is $450. I think this one's a super deal. I was screaming about this one last week. 18 something square feet, plus a finished basement, plus a double car garage. You can see granite countertops. You've got the moldings on the top of the cabinets. The light is a little bit old school, but it's not a big deal. Easy to change. Nice sized rooms upstairs. And you don't have any grass. That's the thing, is that this is really your backyard, which is almost a little courtyard setup that you can see between the house and the double garage. But I just think, like, when you look at what people are paying for semis and for towns, if a yard isn't critically important to you, I think this is an unbelievable deal. Dow Landing is at $459, and so we're looking at a semi with a finished basement, and we don't have a lot of details. 3 bedrooms, 9-foot ceilings. Basement was done by the builder here. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. I mean, for a 3-bedroom semi, how high are you going to go? This one on Giddings to me is definitely one of the strongest picks of the day. $479. It is not only the lowest priced 4-bedroom home currently actively for sale without a penny off or anything like that. It also has a double garage. So 4-bedroom double car garage at $480 is almost unheard of these days. And yeah, it may not have all the fanciest upgrades or anything like that. It's not bad. Like, the kitchen has at least some dark cabinets. The light fixtures have been upgraded. The bedrooms are a good size. It really is, like, it's a good size 4-bedroom house. This one is a winner, and in fact, it's one of the best picks of today's list. McDougall is 1820 square feet, single car garage. They've stretched this photo out. It doesn't look this wide in person. We don't see this elevation a lot. 489, right across from a park. They've got some good finishes. They've decorated well. They might do it. It's an outside shot. I mean, for this price, I'd like to see something like a finished basement, maybe a bit of a premium lot, but that's a nice thing, facing the park. You get some nice escarpment views, and you've got the balcony as a bonus, as you can actually sit out on the balcony and look at all that cool stuff. You know, probably not a bad try price. They could get it. I think there's definitely some nice stuff about it. 1835 square feet is this one on Glebe. Hardwood floors, hardwood stairs. I'm sorry, it's not worth $510, at least in my eyes. You got to be a lot bigger with more upgrades to even come close to hitting this one. The same model has been for sale at $499 for a long time with very similar features. So there's no way they're getting $510. From everything I know about the market. So Diamond is $524.9. Very interesting floor plan. So you've got a double garage, and you actually have this kind of back access into, like, it's almost like there's a little basketball court in the back, and it's beautiful inside. It's got some brick finishes. It's right on a roundabout, so you're going to get a lot of cars sort of whipping around that roundabout. So it's on a busier street. I like the finishes inside a lot. I think at one point I was in this home years ago. It's a very hard one to compare because you don't really have a backyard. You've got, like, very minimal Minimal space for almost very similar to the one on Holland Heights with the double garage and the little courtyard. 524.9. It's got, I mean, it's more than 2,000 square feet. Um, Maybe. I mean, 3 bedrooms, it's probably close to something like a Quincy corner or a Plan 5 corner, which hovers around sort of the high fours, maybe lower fives kind of thing. So Tonelli is 529, 2237 square feet. It's called a Thistle Bay. Little basic inside. I mean, for this one here, there was one that sold a couple months ago on a big pie-shaped premium lot backing onto the school field, and it was more upgraded than this one. There's no way I could see anybody I know paying 529 for it. Terrell is at 550. These models, it's very interesting. They're called a Scotswood, 2350 square feet. Nice 46-foot lot, which most of the builders don't even build anymore. And there's some hardwood floors here. The kitchen is a little plain, but I'll tell you, if you take these cabinets, paint them, restain them, you can do really well. I look at this kitchen and my jaw drops with the potential because it's got a great layout. The moldings, the pot lights are all done. New countertop, stain those cabinets and some new appliances, and you are killing it. Right away, you'd make a huge profit. I don't know what they did on the ceiling here. That's bizarre to me. This stuff here, you can paint it all out white. I don't know what these columns are doing. I'm not sure what's going on there. Regardless, I think that there's huge potential in something like this. This same model just sold with a finished basement. I thought it was a killer deal, right around this mark. So you're not getting the same value as that one, but potential's here, and I think these ones have been undervalued for a long time. And in fact, one of them with the basement apartment just sold up in the sixes. So that one, I think, cracked the barrier. I think these ones are on the way back up because probably a year ago you'd be paying more than this for this style of house. So nice stuff. I think that they've got some rough comparables from the end of last year they're comparing against, but there's really a lot of upside on it. So Pringle is 629. It's a townhouse. At least it's not 7 or whatever those guys were selling for before. Decent upgrades in here. 9-foot ceilings. It looks like 9-foot ceilings on both levels. And you've got a yard that's 113 deep, although it doesn't look like 113, so it could be that the house is just longer. It's a joined house. It's 629 for 2,500 square feet. You could buy the same size home without being joined with a double car garage. So at what point does a buyer say, I can get something where I don't need to worry about my neighbors? Arthur's Way is 699, 2720 square feet. It's got a nice floor plan inside. You've got a sort of a communal area between the bedrooms on the second floor that really can come in handy. Kids' homework, it could come in as a little video game hangout room. Nice place, especially I think for teenagers and older kids. It's got nice hardwood floors, bit of a cherry kitchen, California shutters, crown moldings, pot lights, and then you've got that little ravine area behind Arthur's Way too. The house is set up very well. I mean, I think about this without maybe the premium lot. I mean, the house itself is probably hovering in the, like kind of lower to mid sixes. Is the extra worth it for the ravine and so on? I don't know. That's up to a buyer. July looks like their ideal possession day. Leech Landing is 729. This is an outstanding deal, and the agent didn't put the fact that it's more than 3,000 square feet. It's 3233 square feet. It's one of the Spirit models. I think the Plan 5 or something. I think this is a super deal. Look at the finishes inside, the upgrades, the money they've put into it. Even the tiles look terrific on the kitchen floor. Nice, it doesn't look like builder tile. Pot lights, and you've got a master ensuite that I think is very impressive, a little bit more modern, but that looks like a fancy hotel shower. And the size is there, I think, for the price. It's a nice deal. In fact, it's a hidden pick because I don't think people are going to get the impression that this one's more than 3,200 square feet just from having a look at it. Now, Whaley Way is about the same size, about 3,200 square feet. They only did a 3-bedroom, which I think is holding them back because I looked at this and I thought, wow, this is a good looking listing for the price. The hardwood, the kitchen is outstanding, I thought. Some more close-ups of the kitchen would be good. You've got a separate living room on the main floor, which is probably this room here. You also have another room up on the second floor. So you have 2 opportunities to do home office, kids' playroom. You couldn't really do a bedroom, but they are flex rooms, and there's your master moldings. You've got a makeup room, so this is outside of the bathroom, and you've got a big walk-in closet. The bathroom's huge. That 3 bedrooms. Anyone who buys a 3,200 square foot home and converts it from a 4-bedroom to a 3-bedroom, I don't know if it's, I understand the benefits of getting a huge master, huge ensuite, but your target audience is looking for a 3,200 square foot home because they need more space and they probably have a family, so it can really affect the results you get. The size of this box, if it had the 4 bedrooms, I think it might even be in competition at this price, but it's hard with that 3. So it's not always the wisest value decision to do something like that. Now again, you buy a home for your own functional use, it's a different story. And so Amos is at $929. And so you've got a nice sized property here, right in Brookville Estates. Some of these homes are getting to the point where they start to need some work. You can see they're dated in parts. Roofs, windows, that kind of stuff starts to become issues. So I like the dormer effect in the bedroom there. And again, a pretty good sized piece of land right at the end of the street there, so kids possibly playing hockey outside if that's your vision, more of the estate home. This actually looks like it's got the right size for the price they're asking, 3,300 square feet and more than 2 acres. All good stuff. So 14th, 1.369. They had it at 1.5 something. The picture here doesn't give you I think a proper estimate of how big this home is. You'll see it has a nice impression from the street if you drive by. Inside the home, it's a little messy. Like if you think about a 1.3 home, you're not looking, this is not what you're looking for. The clutter on the countertops, I mean, you look at some of the 1.3 homes, they have everything down to the finest detail set up because buyers in this price range can certainly be particular. Okay, so the presentation, cleaning up, better photos would certainly help with the process. You've got some great views though. I mean, definitely the price for a view is very hard to quantify when we've had clients up on the escarpment like this. And the other thing that's really, really nice with this one is that it's very close to town. It's basically 14th Side Road, it's basically Main Street in Tremaine, a little bit off from there. That is a huge thing. If you want to be able to get to the grocery store in 5 minutes instead of 25, this is the home that you buy, something nice and close to town. It's 2 bedrooms on the main floor. It's got a separate suite downstairs. It says laundry room can be converted into a 3rd bedroom. Yeah, but where are you going to put the laundry? And at one point, almost 1.4, is that something you really want to do? 10 acres for the location, I think, is the real benefit for this one here. The house, if you can look past some of the clutter and some of the stuff around, it may be a good option for you. So it's an interesting one. We don't often see a property that big this close to town. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call, and glad to help you. Okay, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday, I guess.